or you're fired.
We are into champ select for game number 1. TSM on the left, NRG over on the right, and there's a Twitch ban first. They're respecting the AD carry out of OQ.
Yeah, always want to take that away from him. He was playing some Vayne games as well. And so, interested to see what comes out here. 2 AD carry bans already, so Ashe jumps up in priority as well as Jhin.
Sivir ban as well, so I like that from NRG. Malzahar kind of adding to the standard list of champions banned away. Looks like no surprises just yet. Let's see what NRG's second ban is here with 20 seconds left.
Expect a mid lane ban to come through as well. And NRG have been doing more target bans as their style. And things like Allow, we've been banned against them constantly. But there goes the karma. Don't want to have that first picked away. So Rek'Sai now becomes your priority first pick.
Smart takeaway there, as Biofrost and a lot of other supports in the summer have looked excellent on that particular pick. Can also flex mid as well. We've seen Bjergsen play it at least once this season as TSM going to line up their final ban here. 10 seconds left for Hauntzer to lock in his team's final ban. They pick something like Vlad. GBM's had some good performances recently on a few different mid lane champions. But there's Alawi actually taken away from Quas.
Yeah, Alawi's been seeing more and more play. Immortals have picked it up, as well as NRG, of course. They're the ones who, Quas was bringing it out first. Kobe got really happy about that, but didn't see it too much afterwards because it was always banned. Nobody gets any practice against that champion.
And last ban is Bard, actually. So 2 bans away from Biofrost and 3 total bottom lane bans from NRG. Pretty obvious spot there. DoubleLift and Biofrost have looked exceptional recently as the crowd continues to chant. If it's going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen first pick. Hauntzer, it's going to take away Vlad.
It's going to take a while. Exactly. They're going to take away the Vladimir. Santorin will probably go for the Rek'Sai here. Want to take that Vlad away from GBM, but you don't want Svenskeren to have his hands on that Rek'Sai as well. Might get AD carry here too, just because multiple ban.
Yep, we've got Ashe and Jhin, I guess, as the next 2 AD carries to sort of fall down to. Santorin going to hold what I assume is still his favorite champion in Evelyn. So maybe could see some play today, depending on how he's feeling. But I do expect Rek'Sai, like you mentioned, probably something safe like support or AD carry. There's nothing too obvious left open unless Quas wants to take maybe Trundle, but the solo lane picks have been generally very open.
Yeah, and NRG, of course, they're going to take this very seriously, and they're going to draft incredibly seriously, because the difference between 8th place and 9th place, if NRG wins this match, not just this game, they move to 8th place, they actually go above Phoenix 1, and that means that they play the winner of Echo Fox versus Team Liquid Academy, and they avoid Cloud9 Challenger until the elimination match if they make it there.
Well, there's Rek'Sai and there's Braum, actually. It's been a real popular support, particularly for the likes of Kiwikid and Xpecial. They're still favoring a lot of those melee supports. As Bjergsen pandering to the crowd.
The thing is Vladimir's already locked in, so if Vladimir's not their mid laner, it's not necessarily a Bjergsen Teemo if it does get locked in.
Bjergsen was going to do it no matter what, I think. At this point, it doesn't even matter. This is genius from Team. 30 seconds now. We'll see what TSM actually have in mind, or at least game number 1. Don't forget, there's at least 2 games, so crowd may have to wait. Ashe and Shen locked in there for TSM, who also, again, despite having locked in first place, have no reason to not finish their season strong.
Exactly. Don't want to show too many new things as well heading into playoffs. Give your opponents as much research as possible, but they're still going to play that Hauntzer special of the Shen. And DoubleLift on the Ashe, is this going to be the champion that he gets that 1,000th career regular season kill on? It might be. He just is 9 away.
Have to keep tracking it as NRG locking up their next few picks here. Cassiopeia has seen a lot of play, but GBM has never really been one to play the standard champions. He's played a lot of Xerath recently, might go back to it here. And OQ also potentially considering an AD carry pick as well.
Yeah, I actually don't dislike the Kog'Maw here, because Kog'Maw Braum is actually a kill lane, and you would have a ton of pressure with it, especially against something like an Ashe. You tag her, she's got no escapes.
Well, gonna have to wait because there's Jackson Ezreal for NRG. So Quas gonna take trusty top laner there into the tank of Shen, and OQ back to a comfort pick as well. But Ezreal starting to see a little bit more play, especially as AD carries get attention on the ban list. Sif has been a very common first pick or ban.
Yeah, there used to be this trifecta a couple years back of Shen, Renekton, Jax, and the Trinity. And so Jax into Shen, very big throwback here, but Shen now has a dodge zone. A lot of Jax's auto attack damage is his primary source of damage. He's stacking up his passive as well as his R passive. So Shen has a little bit of an edge now. But we'll end up seeing what gets picked here.
Yeah, I've seen actually quite a bit more Taric, and it will be locked in for TSM. Nidalee as well for Svenskeren. Nice, aggressive, carry-oriented jungler for the man. But Taric's been a champion that I've been very impressed with it. It's nice to see the pro players kind of finally start picking it up and experimenting with it.
Yeah, it's incredibly strong, especially when you have a team that wants to dive, and things like Vladimir. The Cosmic Radiance, you still deal damage during it, so Vladimir just gets back to full health when he was so low right before it goes off.
We actually saw NRG use a very similar strategy yesterday, using that Vladimir, Sivir, Taric style combination. So no Sivir, of course, with that being banned away, but you can see kind of all the elements there for TSM. And Vlad, a pick that's actually held over surprisingly well, despite the changes, was very strong to start the summer. Bjergsen showed up on that pick like a lot of other mid laners did. But it seems like a lot of players still do favor it, but GBM looks like he might just take Cassiopeia, which has been, for me, the other big mid laner, at least this weekend. We've seen so many Cassios, just, I think particularly of Apex Liquid yesterday. Keen and Phoenix are just trading huge Cassio games.
Yeah, it's great too, because whenever we're giving out like player of the game, it's really hard when somebody has Cassiopeia. They really skew stats. It's like the guy did so much damage, he like wasn't doing much early, survived, but then he just pops off, and then it'll trade sides, and it's like the other mid laner gets it, and it's like, well, Cassiopeia again, just such a huge force, especially when she can actually use the grounded mechanic to her advantage. A lot of people still haven't mastered that.
Yeah, certainly not, and such great follow-up CC. NRG certainly have all the pieces here to scale up nicely and win some team fights. Cassio's that's always an option for Cassiopeia, but TSM kind of like what their comp's doing here. Got a lot of different things going on. Huge utility in the bottom lane, big carry in the mid lane, and then a nice reliable split pushing tank in the top lane. Maybe Nidalee is the only thing where it's like, okay, not really sure where this fits in, but clearly both teams, I think, happy with this draft for game one.
Yeah, I think both teams are quite happy with it. NRG got a lot of comfort here. Quas has his Jax, which he always brings Ghost on it, so he can be a consistent force in the fights as opposed to just the flash Counter-Strike, and that's it. But overall, both want to get that split push advantage, but I still think TSM, they're really good in the team fight. But also NRG have that Cassiopeia. Can't count that out either.
Well, certainly an interesting game one for both of these, but we are getting into games, so send these teams your energy on Twitter. Hit up the hashtag TSM win or the hashtag NRG win to push your squad to a win here today. It's the final game of the regular season for these two sides. TSM going to try and finish with an almost unblemished record, and NRG certainly some promotion tournament implications for them here. A win would not only be a big upset for them and a huge boost into the promotion tournament, but also some slightly better seeding there as well. So a lot on the line for both sides. TSM maybe a little bit more relaxed, but certainly a team that wants to finish strong here moving into playoffs as the first seed.
Yeah, and it's the big question here, right? It's like all those jokes aside, like the Teemo Twitter and all that stuff like that, Weldon came onto the squad and it was all about consistency and not taking any team lightly. If they let up at the end of the split and they get relaxed, it kind of counters those teachings. It's all about ending strong, making sure that you are being an imposing force and you don't show any weakness to your enemies.
Certainly is, as we are going to see the teams move out now. Just kind of fanning out near the river, making sure they have that neutral vision checked down. Santorin's going to pop down a ward. Hauntzer and Quas going to meet for a little bit. Hauntzer actually going to challenge him here. Counter-strike up for Quas, does get the stun, but Hauntzer mainly just protecting that trinket ward. Going to do some damage back there as well as energy. Looks like they roamed in for a nice deep ward on the Krugs. As these two are still at it.
Yeah, but got the spear over the wall.
That's unfair. Quas taking a big trade there, but he's got a charge of the potion. Probably just going to drink that and go back home. Should be okay.
Still means they didn't get any lane swap wards on the top side, so it could be a later lane swap. See what happens here. Both, I think, are actually okay in their lanes. Ezreal can survive, wants to have a tier backing, but that still means he's okay in a lane swap, but doesn't look like either team's going to go for it.
Yeah, DoubleLift and Biofrost actually still on this bottom side of the map. They do have their Krugs warded, so might have to be a little careful there. But it should be okay. It looks like they are going to start there, and NRG have the information, but looks like they're happy to match standard lanes, at least here for the first game.
How else are you going to get those 9 kills? Get those standard lanes going? Have Svenskeren gank early. He does have a topside route going for him. All the way to the bottom. Let's see how he ends up augmenting his route. This is really the only gankable lane as well as that bot side. You can go to the top and pick up the Jax. Especially since he has Ghost, it might be your avenue in with the Shen.
We'll see though.
Don't think you go through mid though.
No, I don't think there's too much happening here. Unless Bjergsen and GBM really want to go for it. We've seen a lot of this matchup recently. Seems relatively even, but Bjergsen going to stay up early as Biofrost. Good stun onto OQ already. Getting feisty in the bottom lane here. DoubleLift. He's looking ahead at those 9 kills.
They've already primed them. Now you're trying to push the wave, trying to get that level 2 quickly. DoubleLift already hits it as well as OQ.
It's going to give them an advantage. So NRG will back away for now, make sure they play safely and just kind of let the creeps come to them. You can see DoubleLift smartly holding the wave as Hauntzer and Quas. Mano and Mano. Hauntzer getting a first little edge, but Quas with a nice little stun to trade back.
And gets some damage back, but this Shen is no joke, honestly. The percent HP and the pull through, as well as the extra attack speed, just makes him such a bully in the early game.
Yeah.
I actually like this from Biofrost too, is he went up because Rek'Sai will always start on the left side of the jungle or go Gromp to the left side, or top side. And I guess it's red, so he'll always go from his red side and just clear that, or he'll go from his blue side to his red side. So he wards the blue, sees that Rek'Sai is coming in, gives him an advantage there. Quas, no!
Yep, flash for Hauntzer. I mean, no flash to follow there for Quas, has the Ghost, but that's a free summoner there for Quas.
Yeah, and this is what Biofrost was setting up for. Now you saw DoubleLift and Biofrost shove the bottom wave because they had a ward here. Rek'Sai usually comes to this blue buff really late and hands it off to the mid laner, and this is just jungle control again. TSM since day one have been doing this type of strategy where they control the jungle to control the game.
Yeah, and really smart stuff. Couldn't pull Bjergsen out of the lane, so pulled the dual lane instead. Svenskeren probably continuing to play aggressive with the Nidalee, which has sort of been his style and a signature of TSM's play all summer long. GBM in the meantime, though, just farming back versus Bjergsen. Bjergsen up on CS ever so slightly, but not a huge lead there as Hauntzer pick up a little bit more, but that's not good, Hauntzer!
Oh.
Gonna put the dodge field up, Quas burns the Counter-Strike, and Hauntzer actually gonna stay safe for now. Should be okay. Quas needs a tower hit.
Yeah, now he's gonna hold it, so
Santorin's here as well, it's maybe the issue.
yeah, he's gonna hold it up there. Like, now you have to clear this wave. He saw where Santorin was, so now you get full permission to bring your Nidalee up top. And so Hauntzer clears the wave right out of turret range, and now Svenskeren comes up.
Dangerous, good smite from Santorin, though, gonna take their Gromp away. Svenskeren still wanting to chase, though, happy to fight either of them. Maybe was gonna get both, but they'll leap away over the wall and make sure they're safe. Hauntzer actually able to stay here, though, is good news for him. That Doran Shield giving him a bit of extra regen. Not forced back, despite the summoner blown early there.
Yeah. Quas was a little afraid to walk back up and ended up on the wrong side of the turret. If he was able to get to the top side and just help push that wave up, then the gank could have been successful. I think he was too afraid of the taunt, but I'm pretty sure it was used right before.
Good coverage despite all that from Svenskeren, making sure his top laner stays safe as Bjerg is going to keep things pushed in here versus GBM. Again, both champions looking to scale. As long as the farm stays even, we should be A-okay. Important to note that Bjergsen actually opts for Ghost. We've seen a lot of teleport Vladimirs recently, but GBM has Exhaust. So 2 combat summoners, or team fight summoners, I suppose, for his mid laners as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well because the Cassiopeia, you don't want to take Ignite. You'd rather go for an Exhaust, sometimes a Cleanse or the Ghost. But he goes for the Exhaust here just because it's multiple targets that it would benefit him using it on. But you'd really want an Ignite, but it's not an Ignite mid laner, so the support takes him instead.
That was really smart from Svenskeren. Just stop moving to turn off the Tremor Sense, and now going to go invade back in onto the Gromp. TSM, still a team effort here, but kind of getting collapsed on a bit.
Yeah, here comes the TP.
Could be bad news. DoubleLift caught out. Is he going to be the first kill of the game? Almost gets stunned, but Santorin's going to flash forward. There's the stun, and first blood goes to Rek'Sai. Now Quas looking to go in, gets a double stun there. Lands on the Svenskeren as he picks up a kill. Now Biofrost getting tagged as well by the Braum passive. Needs to get out from under it. Last auto needed. Who's going to get it? They are going to dive. Quas dives in for a Q, lands in an OQ. Gets himself a 3rd kill.
And that's 3 kills going over to NRG really early on in this game. 1,000 gold up for them. And all they lose is some pressure top, and that's it. Perfectly executed there to get the counter on this. Invade from Svenskeren. They spotted this out. Santorin with the Tremor Sense gets the leg up, and then misses the initial Q, but the double knockup, despite the dazzle, doesn't matter because the TP comes through, and then the flash from OQ for the follow-up, as well as Santorin, really wanted to kill him there, and then Quas's Ghost just gives him that distance, gives him the ability to chase down, and that's why he takes it every time. Every time I've seen him play Jax, he'll go for that summoner spell, and it seems to work out for him.
Certainly paid off there as NRG collapsed exceptionally to pick themselves up the gold lead here early on. We talked about it. NRG do certainly have a lot to play for here, despite their position in the standings, and TSM have to know that. A surprisingly risky invade from TSM actually cost them.
Yeah, you can't be that type of risky, or you can't be that risky in the early game. Now you're just giving your enemies some information like, hey, we're going to invade the jungle, even if it kills us. So countering their jungle invades, as opposed to being proactive onto TSM, might be the way to go in the future, because we've heard them say, you know, TSM, what are they? They're Baylife. They like to go in. They lose the game, well, they want to lose fast.
Well, you can see Hauntzer being able to get a bit of a farm advantage. Quas should catch up though. He does have a dagger and some Phage components. Quas though only getting stronger. Picked up a kill and an assist, so certainly be on Jack's watch just to see how strong Quas is able to get as the game continues. Energy in general will scale well into this game. TSM not too far behind them, but nice early lead is good news, certainly for Energy.
Oh yeah, you can't count almost any of these champions out of the late game. The junglers are kind of the ones that, you know, they've kind of teeter off there, but everybody else in this game scales incredibly well. And so if he can get his split push on in the top lane, this Jax Quas can become a huge boon for Energy, and it might open up the game for him.
Well, just checking in with mid and bottom lane there. Looks like Spirit Visage almost completed for Bjergsen, has his Kindle Gem and a Cow already finished. Tier vs Negatron collect there for GBM, so mid laners look like they're content to farm for now. Nice smite from Santorin, gets himself the Scuttle Crab as well as Svenskeren still not done, despite how awry the first invade went. And Biofrost and DoubleLift also playing aggressive. That's that BF sword versus Sheen plus Tier for DoubleLift versus OQ.
Yeah. And you're talking about Svenskeren, I mean, he went for that invade, and we heard him earlier say that he thinks Santorin's good, but it's kind of easy to look good on a bad team. So definitely kind of an indication that he doesn't give Energy the type of respect that they're proving that they might need from TSM.
And to be honest, Svenskeren looks best when he's playing pretty disrespectful League of Legends, and I say that in a very nice way. He's just so aggressive, so high pressure. Arrow mid! GBM! Oh, he gets nailed! Bjergsen, though, not there to follow up. Oh, he gets exhausted! He'll take the summon over GBM. Going to try and turn things around. Bjergsen taking little damage as Spence here as well. Threads the needle, not quite. As it jams straight into that melee minion. Good attempt there from DoubleLift. Important to note, GBM does not have cleanse.
Yep. Went for the exhaust instead. Used it there. Bjergsen actually missed his Tides of Blood. Tides of Blood, you know, it doesn't go through minions. It'll stop on the first target it hits as a Nova. And there was a minion that was like right in front of him and blocked it. And he may have still been out of range regardless.
Well, nice arrow from DoubleLift, but unfortunately no conversion there for the rest of TSM. Santorin now top lane just clearing a ward out of that piece of brush, making sure Quas is well covered there in his top lane adventures. Has picked up that Fate and now a second dagger for himself, so early Trinity Force well on the way here for Quas, who seems more than comfy in the matchup despite the CS discrepancy. Remember, he did teleport down to that bottom lane to give himself some kill and assist gold.
Yeah, and we're talking about CS discrepancies here. Across the board, TSM are ahead in every lane, and it's only a 200 gold advantage now for Energy, despite 3 kills going over to them. Like, TSM are just farming out of their minds, and Svenskeren is counter jungling and taking away a lot of this gold from Santorin. So overall, those kills are meaning very little right now in terms of the actual tangible leads.
And to add to that, we saw after those kills, Energy were up 1,000 gold. Now that gold lead shrunk to about 400. As OQ lets the ultimate rip there, just going to clear the wave out. Looks like DoubleLift's already gone back. Got himself some early Zerker Graves, and Biofrost going in 1v2.
He's kind of baiting them because if he gets the
ultimate, it's there! Now the Shen are going to follow in as well. Beautiful bait from TSM. Svenskeren going to hunt one down. OQ gets taunted. Sven's going to hunt him down. He's trying to trade in. DoubleLift fires off the arrow, but Hauntzer takes out OQ arrow. Don't think it landed on Kiwi, but they're still going to run for it. Bjergsen now here, ghosted down towards the bottom lane, but no chase forthcoming, just the 1 kill.
Yeah, no teleport as well from Quas because Hauntzer tried to get into that fight. Looks like he might have gotten interrupted multiple times because he had his TP too, so he used that and it still didn't go off.
It's true, actually. Yeah. Both globals burnt there from TSM's top laner, so Quas will have their TP advantage now.
Yeah, for 1 kill. Does give TSM the advantage back, though. And that caused gradients. Biofrost was baiting because he saw Svenskeren was ready to back him up, and Bjergsen already had the mid-shove advantage, and that's just good communication there. When your mid laner is saying, all right, what can we do with me pushing up now? It's like, all right, there's this window here, and Biofrost set it up perfectly.
Yeah, some beauty there, certainly, in the Taric plus Shen interaction. Good combination from TSM to net themselves a kill and kind of continue pressing some of their smaller CS leads. OQ does return to the lane.
Yeah, speaking of returning to lane, apparently it was to return to lane was the TP from Hauntzer.
Makes sense. So it did manage to get there, but...
Yep, he did do the taunt flash.
But his summon is there as well. Svenskeren, Runikeko is now completed. Just going to leap himself onto the Raptors and take those down. Santorin, actually busy bot lane, going to try and clear out a pink ward perhaps, but TSM protecting their ward for now. Can't protect it for too much longer, as NRG will team up to make sure they take it out. Santorin maybe looking mid, perhaps, is trying to stay active here, but falling pretty woefully far behind Svenskeren on farm, and it's not helping that Sven's taking his jungle as well.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's taking your jungle, they're taking your CS. It's like denying, right? It's supposed to be yours. Nope. Either person can take it. Those neutral objectives, when you're able to fight over them, it's honestly like, if I take a 50 neutral gold objective from you, I'm basically going up 100.
Mm-hmm. That little gold swing, and you can see Sven not done. He's actually busy in NRG's red side jungle, taking everything he can. Did see a ping there, so I believe they know Sven's trying to take these buffs away. I think Santorin wants to answer. He's on top of a ward, though. Not a good spot to be, and I don't think he can stay here unless NRG want to move in together. Sven is just taking everything.
Yeah, he wants to stay for that red buff because it's almost up, but that gives Sven just free reign of the top side jungle. And they know that he's around here. Bjergsen now playing towards the top side. So Quas has to just give up all this CS and fall further behind.
Yeah, he's getting forced off. Hauntzer actually proxied a wave between the outer turret and the inner turret there, which is real bad times as a top laner.
This is actually really good communication from both teams because when you're making a play on one side of the map, the other side has to back off. So TSM, despite having a little bit of an advantage in this bottom lane, they still back off of the turret because they say, well, you know, we don't have our jungler here. Santorin, though, he stayed around a very long time, and now Svenskeren is here.
Yeah, he's back to collect his big crud money, which he does do. And now onto his own red buff, so continuing to get a huge lead in the jungle matchup. Important to know, NRG did take the bottom outer turret as a result of all that pressure, so they got themselves a turret and a bit of extra gold, but you look at the gold lead now and it's even, and that's with NRG upper tower and 2 kills. Just showing you how efficiently TSM are farming. Arrow flies again, hits GBM again! Tides of blood following in, there's the Hemo flag, and Sven's gonna follow in the arrow. GBM's dead this time, Bjergsen with the kill.
Even with the exhaust coming through, still gets the kill. Svenskeren there for the backup, and DoubleLift backs off, takes aim, takes the shot.
And Sven again back onto the blue buff. Santorin. It's a real bad time to be NRG's jungle as Svenskeren is dominating jungle control. 14 minutes into this game. He is so far ahead. He's 3 levels ahead.
Yeah, this is actually ridiculous. This Nidalee, one of the things that makes her so ridiculous in solo queue is that she farms so quickly, but we'll talk about that in a second. Because double globals.
Wants to come back in, Santorin going to use the ulti down as well. TSM standing in 5 to the other. Shen, DoubleLift going to be stands united upon, but Biofrost now invulnerable from the Cosmic Radiance. They need to play this well. Quas trying to chase down the carries, but he's going to almost get taunted, forced to leap out of the way as Bjergsen's here as well. Double stop from Biofrost, lands in onto 2, and now Quas is going to get chased down. Sven also throwing spears in, has almost got one, and Bjergsen moves in for the kill onto Quas. Now Sven going to chase down Kiwikid, and he's going to leap away to safety. GBM here, but it's a little too late. It's barely enough to save Kiwi. No, it's not. He goes down, and there's the double.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be good for NRG with the double globals, but the Cosmic Radiance from Taric buys enough time. Shen ultimate comes through, and that's that bottom turret going over to TSM.
Wonderfully played from TSM as they even up the turrets and get themselves actually pretty far ahead in gold. 3,000 gold up at 15 minutes is no small lead.
Not at all. 3 levels up for Svenskeren, like you were saying. And this is just the Cosmic Radiance playing against the Taric. It's a different type of beast here. You usually have to call off a lot of the plays because it buys so much time. Hauntzer backs, starts getting that stand united through as soon as he backs, so he's able to buy and get him in there. And now you can see Svenskeren and Bjergsen are both coming from the mid lane. Quas eventually sees this, backs off, but then right there, great flash while the Dazzle is charging. He gets the double stun to back it up. Quas ends up going down off of Bjergsen, and then just the chase down here. Santorin to the left. The GBM, a lot of that play, the reason it happened was NRG wanted to fight. TSM still knew that GBM was down and had no way to get there. The arrow kill from earlier, you still have to respect that. NRG, when you have 4 people on the map and you're trying to make a global play like that, if it lasts long enough and it gets stalled out, you're going to get collapsed on by 5.
Yeah, fun to see the tower dive potential there as well. Deceptively tanky team between a Shen, a Vladimir, and a Nidalee to heal you. Looks like mid tower's going to go down. GBM eats a spear. Sven can't hop out, but he does now pounce out of the way of the miasma. But it looks like that's just going to be mid tower falling. There it goes down. Quas and Taunts are still fighting. Hauntzer starting to win some of these trades here.
Yeah, has those armor items right now. He'll be working on a Spectre's Cowl, I assume, is his next item. And the Trinity Force still isn't going to cut it just yet. It's 40 CS up, though, for Hauntzer. He's just had a really good time in this lane.
NRG going to have to be a bit more patient. Another spear from Svenskeren. This looks like a tower dive.
Yeah, but now they're just going to go top, right? You push the mid laner out, go top, get 2 kills here. Bjergsen almost has his ghost back, but no, it's still not. It's not going to be able to pick it up.
This also looks like a tower dive as TSM just going to push their way in here to the top lane. Looks like they are going to give it up, though. They're happy just to take the outer turrets and collect a bit of extra CS there for DoubleLift. But total map control right now for TSM. 3 turrets to 1. Gold leads there. Kills finally caught back up. Everything's going well except DoubleLift has no kills. That's the only bad thing about this game.
Yeah. Hasn't picked up any, still sitting at 991. Who knows, maybe by the end of the game they start spoon feeding him.
Just watch him insta-lock Vayne in game 2. He's like, screw this, I'm not playing Ashe anymore. Because the Rift Herald goes over to them as well. Looks like Sven's going to be the one to pick it up here.
Yeah, Sven, it's a little surprising because normally you want your split pusher to have it, but it's the jungler that is just out farming, 2 levels up right now. He's 12 and a half. He's basically tied with Bjergsen for experience at the moment, and ahead of GBM and the solo laners of NRG. Like, that's how far ahead Svenskeren is.
Really exemplifying that carry is Hauntzer and Quas doing battle. Minion line there for Quas, but Hauntzer just standing his ground. Quas is like, yeah, can't really scrap with you right now. Hauntzer is happy to keep 1v1ing him, and that's bad news for Jax. He wants that side lane pressure, but Hauntzer currently has that initiative in the lane. Yeah,
and Quas is going to go build some magic resistance just to try and deal with that, because Shen primarily does that with the Sunfire Cape, as well as doing % HP damage, which is the magic damage source that he has.
Well, NRG, again, just trying to farm up in their side lanes, but looks like TSM going to move in for their first Drake of the game. It is a Cloud Drake, fairly late, but better late than never.
Yeah, they got an Ocean Drake earlier that they were able to sneak.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah, it was something I didn't even notice as well, because it ended up happening during a point where it was like, oh, not much action going on. They ended up sneaking it, so see what happens with this second Drake, because the Ocean Drake has been keeping them afloat in a lot of these lanes. And when you get those types of advantages where you can shove the enemy out, or even just trade with them like Hauntzer's been doing, speed up Quas, back off. You're going to regen way more than him.
I just love it. I think even the Drakes have aligned to make sure Svenskeren has the best game ever.
That's true. Farm in the jungle does not put it on cooldown, so he still gets to just be an absolute machine here. Nidalee loves it too.
Took another blue buff, and this could be TSM applying a bit more pressure. Torn in onto Quas, but he's a little safer now. Bjergsen's going to dive back in, and that's just a kill. DoubleLift picks up one.
Just so much damage, and the Cosmic Radiance comes down for insurance there from Biofrost, just in case they get turned around on.
And looks like Bjergsen actually looking up for a dive here. He's so tanky, Stand United. Gonna ride him into the backline. Hero playing onto the carries. Taunt not gonna be there, and GBM and OQ flash out of the way, but they got them off the turret. That's all they wanted.
And they got the summoner spells as well. If I'm gonna use a Shen ultimate and a Ghost for 4 summoner spells, that's definitely worth it there. So TSM is getting a large advantage off of that play, the pressure and the turret. And they got DoubleLift to kill. 992.
They did. 8 to go. As TSM now up almost 7,000 gold at 20 minutes in. It's just oppressive to play against a team with this much pressure and coordination.
Yeah.
Ben's going to face check Santorin and Braum, and not going to care because Biofrost running interference as well. Biofrost actually pretty far in. Svenskeren maybe needs to worry a bit more. He will flash out of the way, but Hauntzer fairly tanky. Going to put up the Spirit's Refuge in the front side. NRG just don't have the weapons to fight right now, although Biofrost getting a little low. It's another Q. Hauntzer going to make sure he takes it. Ulti there, but it's not enough.
Yep, flashes off to the side there to avoid it. So Biofrost barely getting out. And now OQ's on poke duty. He's just trying to kite them out, trying to get some pressure. But you still have to get Bjergsen out of the lane if you ever want that turret.
Yeah, might be able to force something here, but Bjergsen very healthy on the 2-item Vladimir. Even has the finished boots, so that'll be NRG calling off the potential siege. TSM going to reset, go back and spend some of their money. Sven has already finished his Rylai's, and now what a fiendish Codex. Had a blasting one for a second there, but it's funny to see, but Sven is a giant Nidalee at this point of the game.
He's absolutely huge. Rylai's already completed, higher level than both solo laners on NRG still. He's almost level 14. He's very close.
Take this blue buff as well. Vlad doesn't really need it.
Yep.
DoubleLift actually may be a candidate as well, but could just be here helping his jungle up. By the looks of things, Sven though, now level 14, going to continue taking all of that jungle. And Baron is up. TSM going to start to ward it. That's, okay.
Very rarely does Svenskeren actually get a blue buff though, so it's a...
He gets them all today.
It's a dark day for TSM.
His birthday? What's going on?
Bjergsen allowed him to have this one. Even has like a Smurf name that's like blue buff donator or something like that. It's like, it's basically a blue buff bot for his mid lane.
Maybe he'll continue to suggest that Bjergsen should play Vladimir. Because I'm sure he's enjoying it so far. Again, continuing to take all of Santorin's jungle out from under him. He is 55 CS ahead of poor little Rek'Sai. Sad torrent today.
And Rek'Sai's, you know, we usually see the build where you go for Tiamat first, but he was just pushed out of the game so early on, despite even them picking up 3 kills. We just didn't see that convert into anything for NRG. Even though you're a scaling team, when you get a lead, you still have to be able to push that lead, composition or not. And that's exactly what TSM did.
Yeah, and we've seen this when Nidalee, gets going, but teams can't extend that lead. TSM are a team that absolutely know how to play with this sort of pressure, and it has been a team effort that have gotten them all this control around the jungle. They take another turret as the mid 2-2 falls down. Bjergsen pretty much solo holding GBM back towards his inhibitor turret there in mid lane, and TSM are just moving in for what looks like the last tier 2, and quite possibly at this point, Baron or inhibitor turrets.
God, they have so much pressure. It's kind of like clockwork. They go bottom, they leave Hauntzer bottom to continue to split push. He's going to be on that inhibitor turret now. Quas has no teleport. He's got to walk there.
Might have to ghost there, although it's down.
Yeah, but it still gives Hauntzer an avenue to make a play on the top side of the map.
But TSM not done. Going to keep pressuring in. This top tier 2 is, I think, something NRG have to give away, and they will. But that's 6 turrets to 1 now.
And now GBM has come down bottom. Hauntzer has effectively pulled 2 people to him.
Quas is not winning this fight, though. Hauntzer might just stand and try and fight it out. I think he tried to get out there, but he's got stunned by GBM. And GBM's going to finally get a kill back.
And now the answer is, what does TSM do with this pressure? Do they start up the Baron? No. They bait it instead.
Arrow.
That arrow
lands on the Kiwikid. Bjergsen going to follow in. Spear's good as well. Kiwi looks like he's going to get chunked out. A good double stun follows through from the Dazzle. And that's one onto Kiwi. Might keep chasing here. Bjergsen looking to slow down Santorin. He's got the Rylai's. He's pretty tanky. But Santorin probably not tanky enough. Will they die? Bjergsen going to leap in for it. But TSM, they'll push instead.
Yeah, and that was a great Dazzle off of the Bastion from Biofrost. He's been nailing it right now with Taric. Like, 100% kill participation. Only person in the game that has that. There's been a lot of action around Biofrost.
And that's broken now. Oku eats a huge chunk of his health bar. Looks like ulti out, Sentinel to back up. Shen's ready to join the fray. Hauntzer looking to add more pressure and try and take out this mid in here, but might have been a little too much there from TSM as Quas backing onto Biofrost, but it's just some poke, and Bjergsen, he wants to bait them. Yeah, have to be careful.
Just use 2
Oh my god, that health. Bjergsen, though, knocked up. He now goes back in a Sanguine pool. Hauntzer here, but the ulti's out from Kiwi. Bjergsen going to flash out to safety, but NRG still chasing. They've caught Biofrost. He's stunned up by Braum. Passive Quas still diving into the backlands as Biofrost does finally die to GBM. DoubleLift, though, outputting damage. Quas looking to go down to Svenskeren. He look for the flank. Now Nidalee going to flash out of the way as GBM takes out DoubleLift as well.
GBM
there. GBM looking to turn things around, but Hauntzer just continuing to fight. He won't go down because of flash that last auto, but there's the taunt in. Hauntzer going to shut him down. Svenskeren, though, taking too much damage. Oku going to clean him up. Hauntzer now stunned. 1v4 is the Shen, but he's pretty tanky. Might try and take out 1 or 2 with him. Quas getting a little low, but he leaps away. Bjergsen trying to dive his way back in as he dips back into the left-hand flank. Santorin trying to get his way out as Hauntzer just cutting him out of the way. Taunt's not enough. NRG get another kill. And now Bjergsen, 1v3, going to try and take out Oku. Hemoplague, not enough, but Bjergsen still chasing. Tides of blood, not enough. Needs one more. Q's good. Bjergsen now on a rampage.
Oh, Bjergsen just chasing him down. Doesn't back off from the fight. The rest of NRG do. They leave Oku high and dry. And he had no HP to really deal with Bjergsen at all.
That was a long team fight. Let's see it again.
Are you okay? So I guess I'll take the replay, Pastry. So they already used the Cosmic Radiance. They already used the Shen ultimate, so it's a good plan from NRG to actually dive in and win this team fight there, but they can't get onto Bjergsen because he still has the flash and gets out, and then he just barely survives off the OQ ultimate by getting another transfusion, and GBM just starts taking over this fight. They exhaust onto DoubleLift. This is why Cassiopeia takes that spell to slow people down to guarantee the Q landing, and then the increased damage on the E. And right there, GBM went for the Miasma, as opposed to hitting another E onto Bjergsen. I think he could have killed Bjergsen before the pool if he had gone for that move, and that's what changes the end of this fight, because it could have been a 5-for-1. And then it ended up being a hectic fight, and look another, go Pastry.
Too long, Svenskeren now gonna get the Shen ulti. Big heals there as well, trying to move Hauntzer back over the wall. NRG continuing to play aggressive, trying to stop TSM from taking over too much, but they're already 10,000 gold ahead. I do love the fight, but TSM just showing that, at this stage of the game, can play a little reckless. GBM hits another arrow. Svenskeren falls with the spear. Taunt's going to land in. DoubleLift doesn't get it. Svenskeren able to take another kill for himself.
And everybody just playing in sync on TSM. Sure, it's 9 to 8 in kills, but these kills.
Oku's having a bad time. Cosmic Radiance, here comes the dive. Biofrost. No, they're not going to bother. They're just going to push down mid instead. Red and Hip goes down. Quas trying to split push, but Hauntzer's going to join him in. TSM going to go for the throat here.
Oh, he was just baiting, and now Quas is actually going to TP in to help and try to save this. Not sure if he will be able to, though.
Makes it back down. Haunter pretty tanky. Quas dives into the backline. DoubleLift to target. But the stun just hits Svenskeren. Spanging to chase out Quas. TSM looking to knock down a few more Nexus turrets. They're all open now. The Nexus is exposed. TSM might just move in for it here. NRG trying to keep them out of their base, but Bjergsen is so tanky. Finally forced to leave as Quas dives back in, but could be for his own demise. Pull back in.
GBM is back up now.
And DoubleLift finally gets himself another kill. There's two. Kiwikid diving back in. Bjergsen is continuing to bait in. GBM exhausted. TSM gonna dive back in for it. Spirit's Refuge keeping them up. And Oku pinned against his fountain. TSM are gonna look to close out the game.
And DoubleLift gets another kill on top of it. 993. The countdown still continues.
Solid looking game there from TSM. Really cool little comp. Svenskeren got insanely far ahead in the jungle. And then just a bunch of cool stuff. Constant aggression from Sven, Taric, Shen ultimate combinations, some great long team fighting energy. They found some decent moments, but unfortunately it was too little too late. They were too far behind by the time they started to try, get enough to fight TSM.
Yeah, there's some really cool moments in that. I absolutely loved when NRG, they had that play that turned around the jungle aggression from Svenskeren. So what he was using to gain advantages was turned around on him early, but then they squandered that lead because it just ended up being CS advantages, and then Svenskeren got to keep doing what he was doing. And I actually really like that from Sven because he didn't let up. He didn't fall into that whole Pavlovian thing where it's like, no, I got punished when I did that, and didn't get conditioned to be afraid of invading. Instead, kept going for it and said, these guys, now we can keep doing this.
Yep, and it was great because TSM really just cleaned it up. They're like, okay, we made a mistake. Quas had TP advantage, we messed up there. And they were just able to say, you know what? Let's farm up. We know we can get there and take advantages from there. Well, for more on that Game 1 TSM victory, let's pass it back to Dash.